All right, Nick. Coming in a little early tonight. Feels appropriate. Feels like we should. Feels like we're on life support. That's exactly where we're at. Bases juiced. We do have two outs, right? Two outs. Bases juiced. Bottom of the eighth.
Oh yeah.
Cards lead 11-6. And for all intents and purposes, we all know what's going on here. The chances of them coming back and winning this game are little to none, but I'm gonna at least see the last three outs. I don't know about all of you, but I'll at least see them out.
Seems definitely deserve that this year.
They had a chance. They had a chance too, man. Boy, did they have a chance.
Yeah. Well, the Cubs have been eliminated.
Yeah, there's a little bit of what do they call that? What's the phrase I'm looking for?
Silver lining.
I was thinking for I was looking for a different one.
Okay.
I'll come up with it eventually. My brain is not operating at full capacity tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I've been up for a really long time. Drove to Toledo and back, as I mentioned before yesterday. That was a treat. Toledo's
It's a pretty boring drive.
It. Yeah, Toledo's just as I remembered it. I mean, it's they did. If I must give them a little credit, I'm actually was somewhat impressed with the tailgate they had going on at the Toledo football game.
Okay.
So kudos to them. Glass Bowl.
Shout out Rockets.
The Rockets. All right, Alexis, give us a chance. These are what's funny is like these are the ones where you're just like, whatever. If he gives up, he gets a hit. But then it's like you go back to the Pirates game. Of course, people are going to circle that one for a long time. But you go back to the Pirates game when he gave up one of those runs late. You're just like, all right. And then he gives up 2 or 3, and then you're like, all right. Well, what's it matter? And then it ends up mattering.
Oh, come on.
It's like the first and second inning mattered. It was just off the plate, or you could say it was borderline. I wouldn't say it was. You're begging a little bit. This is what scares me with Alexis. I got to be honest, man. I mean, this guy's that's a strike. Anyway.
We've also got a little bit of a race going on right here.
What's the race?
So if the Mariners are going to the bottom of the ninth down, I think 5 runs, and this is real sicko stuff right here. But if they lose, they're eliminated. So the Reds would be the absolute last team to be eliminated. Real sicko stuff, I know.
I know this is knee-jerk reaction stuff. But I'm a little concerned about Alexis. I have been.
The only thing I would say is just he's at a career high in innings. So
that's fair, but
that's
at the same time, then when okay, I'll buy that a little bit. But then it's like, okay, what if happens when you make the postseason next year? There's a pretty good chance he's going to be throwing his most meaningful pitches of the year in a spot where he's probably on this pitch count or this inning count.
Well, I mean, you hope maybe next year, you can maybe give more off days. Maybe you have a deeper bullpen. I mean, there's also, I hate to say it, but he's also gone like 2 straight years without an injury. You know what I mean? Like at some point, a lot of the times these guys have an injury that gives them rest. And that's just the weird thing with this bullpen is like no one got hurt this year. Like
This
you,
dude
you
just can't
usually,
throw strikes, Nick.
yeah. Yeah, I mean that was a concern earlier in the year too, but he was able to kind of always
Well,
wiggle around it.
guys would swing at it. Guys would swing
Yeah,
at him, right?
that's
It's
true.
like at some point these guys are gonna realize, you know what? I'm just gonna take till I get a couple strikes. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Wow, we'll take it.
Oh.
How pissed is that guy? I love the. There's a guy that just yelled, "Open your eyes."
Just wants to go home.
MSM says his closers have to throw strikes. Well, closers don't always have to throw strikes. It's just that if closers don't throw strikes, then they have to be so overpowering that they can legitimately, if they throw a strike, there's a high percentage chance that they're going to strike guys out.
Devin Williams. I mean, how many times did we watch him
Yeah.
this year and go, "Why are you swinging? Don't make him throw 3 strikes." Yeah. Oh man.
Diaz has been pretty bad
Yeah.
lately. I mean, that's just the facts.
Yeah.
You know what I appreciate about Alexis right now, though? I'll be honest with you. Um, the way he just listened right there was really impressive, man. I mean, he just took everything that DJ said to heart. Like that was impressive, man. I got a lot of. I mean, I know that sounds like I'm just like being a little over emotional about that right there, but seriously, like that was. I just gained like an immense amount of respect for Alexis Diaz right there. He could have packed it in, not listened, not paid attention, could care less. Season's over. He's not throwing the ball well, and I mean, he was eye to eye, intently listening to every single word that he just told him. Yeah. Just isn't it, man? Let's not jump ship, everybody, all right? I know it's emotional. I understand it's tough to watch baseball right now, but let's not just crush all of our guys, man. It's a tough ending to a great year. It's setting in right now, isn't it? It's setting in out there right now. I really do think 11-6. Those guys out there felt like they had a chance. I really do. In their mind, they didn't give up. Like they weren't crying on the bench in March Madness. You know what I'm saying? They kind of felt like they still had a chance to come back and win. We've reached the crying on the bench phase right now of the Cincinnati Reds. We came live on here and we thought we were going to be able to hopefully get this last out and try to watch the Reds rally, and that's just not what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of tough things to watch tonight. don't know if there's a ton to really say that really helps anybody right now, if we're being honest.
Just spend 20 minutes talking about Noelvi Marte.
Yeah. He looks good, man. What a great season, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't believe how well he's played down the stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Reds have they were out hitting the Cardinals right there before that little onslaught of hits. I don't know if they still are.
Were they really?
Was it 12-10 or 13? It's 13-12 now in hits,
It's
but
still 14-13 Reds.
yeah. So I mean, listen,
That's wild.
it's simply put, simply put, that shows you how important not walking guys is. I mean, we all know that, but that is the 100% sign. The difference between 15 and 6 runs tonight is legitimately just walks. Good job, Alex. Hopefully you're ready to throw some more tomorrow, Alex.
Nah, Hunter Green's going to go the distance.
Nah. Let him throw 3 or 4 innings and get his ass out of there.
Lively's probably got another 4. He's got a rubber arm.
I'm being serious. Hunter Green's throwing like 4 innings tomorrow. That's it.
I think he'll go 5.
Okay, 5. I'll give you 5.
We got a fresh Derek Law. We got a fresh. That's it. Just fresh Derek Law. Maybe they make a move tomorrow.
Alex Young. You said they were going to bring up Antone.
Yeah, that would make sense if they activated him, but I don't
think they're going to do that. Why would they do that?
Well, if they were out of it and, he
You think that he's done?
Feels healthy and he wants one more inning to kind of end the year. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I just don't know if it's worth. I don't know if it's worth it. I guess my point is if you're going to try to get Antone to come back, let's use him. I just don't want him to go out there when he just had elbow inflammation and he wants to throw. I don't care. I mean, I just don't want him to get hurt. Yeah, it's just worthless game.
Just depends where he is. I mean, if he, could have gone on a rehab assignment, but there was no rehab assignments to do, then, it might mean something to him to get to, finish the year.
Yeah.
All right, let's go 5 for 5. Noelvi. Or is he 4 for? Yeah, it's 4 for 4.
Look at these kids, man. Just look at all these kids, guys. How can that graphic not cheer you up a little bit, man? You tell me, you look at those guys right there, and you tell me one of those guys that are not going to be good. They're all going to be relatively decent players. I mean, at least decent players, man.
Well, good point by Crunky in the chat. Novi's on Psycho Watch with a triple. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Ohio Lakers is keeping up with the scoreboard update with the Diamondbacks. I kind of hope they win if the Reds can't pull this off, but we'll see. That would kind of hurt if we're being honest. That'd be pretty painful. Joe Boyle's throwing a no through 6, says Ryan. Love that. Sam Mall, whichever it is, has been good though. So,
and you have control of him. He wasn't a rental either.
Yeah, and on top, he's back for next year. And on top of that, the other thing too about Boyle is like it doesn't always mean if he would have came up with the Reds, he'd have been good. Oh my God, he got a hanging breaking ball and missed it.
he's also facing the Los Angeles Angels. Go take a look at their lineup. They're running out there tonight. I mean, not
Let's
taking anything away from him.
Let's not get all excited about Hunter Green throwing no hitters against the lowly Pirates and then turn around and make fun of Joe Boyle.
I'm just saying the Angels in game 161. I mean, if there was ever a team that's, going through the motions, a team with Mike Moustakas batting cleanup probably is at the top of that list.
Tom said it's pronounced Mall. I'm telling you, I think it's Mall.
Baseball Reference says MOLE.
Well, Baseball Reference.
Take it up with the good folks at Baseball Reference.
Baseball Reference is wrong. Uh-oh. Old broken bat from TJ.
Nope. That looked way better.
Yeah, it hit off the end of his bat, I think, but it did look good. The thing that sucks is they're all staring at that Arizona score.
Yeah, that's making them sick.
All right, let's do a show. We're gonna do a quick little show, guys. All right, hang with us, man. Hang with us. We appreciate you. Let's do a quick little show starting now. All right, Nick. Game 161 is the official game that the Cincinnati Reds playoff chances are dead. They lose in heartbreaking fashion would be probably the incorrect term because they lost so badly, 15-6. Currently, as we speak, the Diamondbacks are losing 1-0. Which would then still would have provided an opportunity for the Reds to go in tomorrow with a chance still to make the postseason. But that is not going to be the case because the Reds weren't able to win the night. And I think before we get into the box score recap, before we talk about Connor Phillips really quickly, then obviously we have Marte in the offense, and then we'll talk about tomorrow. We'll talk about just kind of, I guess, the quick little big picture thoughts. One thing I want to say before we get started completely, though, is this. There's a lot of people in here right now. Very much. We all appreciate that. Do me a favor and come back tomorrow. I kind of want to make tomorrow the best show. That's the kind of sign-off finale show. Really get a chance to laugh and have some fun, and maybe some of this sadness, if you will wear off a little bit. But I guess I'll start off by just saying, Nick, I'm not incredibly sad because I just have been kind of internalizing this for 2 weeks now, I guess. I've been trying to prepare myself for this for 2 weeks. There's been times where I've considered in my brain it be completely dead, and then there was times where I get glimpse of hopes again. And I guess overall, what a blessing it's been just in general, and I'll kind of give you the floor for just a second to kind of chat about just the overall big picture, Nick.
Yeah, I had accepted it on, Wednesday night when they lost that game. Still had hope that still worth watching and still worth paying attention to. And I don't know, for the last couple months, I've just kept saying, just want to have another day. And man, they got all the way down to about 20 hours left in the baseball season, still alive. And uh, more than I think any of us could have really hoped for this year coming in. But it's not even about the 82 wins that the Reds have right now and the fact that they did hang in this race. It's about the players and how good we feel about so many of these guys. That last graphic the Reds showed with all the rookies and what they did this year. Collectively, it was best case scenario for how they did. Not individually, but collectively, all of them to perform at this level and to all go into the offseason as legitimate big leaguers is a huge, huge deal and is the most successful part of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like it's you'll get called out and saying it's a loser's mentality, certainly when you're in the middle of a playoff race, when you downplay kind of the importance of making the postseason or not making the postseason. Listen, we all wanted to make the postseason. There's no doubt about that. The Reds had they had a chance. But again, they didn't collapse. They didn't play their best baseball at the end of the year. We all know that. But again, I don't think they collapsed. Collapsing is when you have a 90% chance to make the postseason and you don't make the postseason, like a different franchise. I won't get into that, but this team never had more than a 50% chance, and Nick said that multiple times, to make the postseason. I think the thing to be most excited about is this. I think there's a lot of people that are going to be, and I say people, a lot of players that are going to be inked into the lineup every single day next year that are young. And I also think that on opening day, when they're inked into that said lineup, they're going to expect to win. And also, when they get inked into that lineup, they believe they belong. So all of those things, I think, are very, very important. And I think that we're going to have a lot of those guys. A lot of those guys on opening day next year are going to feel like they should win, they expect to win, and I think that they're pretty damn good players, and they feel like they belong to be in the big leagues. This isn't a guessing game anymore. Noelvi Marte 100% thinks to himself now he belongs and he can be successful in the big leagues. No matter what you would have told Noelvi in the offseason if he never got a chance to play this year in the big leagues, you'd still would have some doubt there. Same goes with Ellie. Same goes with McLean. Same goes with Steer. Same goes with TJ Friedel. TJ Friedel's a guy that, we've obviously brought up from time to time about how big of a year he had. But even though he's not, I guess, technically a rookie per se because he had some service time the year before, he didn't have a lot of success. So he even needed to get validated. And I just, without spending a ton of time going through the same scenarios we always do, it seems like when we talk about these young guys, is I'm just excited to see what this front office does because they do have a little bit of money. It'll be interesting to see how they use that money. There's no doubt there's some depth. There's some real depth to this thing when it comes to starting pitching, in my opinion. I'd like for them to go out and get a couple more arms, if we're being honest. But we'll see how it goes, Nick. I just kind of wanted to put a little bow on the season and say it's been a hell of a run. And again, there's 190 people in here on a Saturday night when the Reds just got eliminated is ridiculous. It's unbelievable, to be honest with you. And I don't want to say I beg of you, but please come back tomorrow. I think tomorrow we'll probably go live tomorrow. And what time, Nick? 5 o'clock-ish?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So tomorrow, 5 o'clock-ish, if you can come back on YouTube for a little bit of time, please do that. Please do that. I want to make tomorrow a fun show. I want to make tomorrow make it a fun show. You know when you're in Little League or you're in a younger level and the season ends and everyone's all sad and then someone's like, let's do a pool party at Johnny's house. Let's make tomorrow the pool party. All right. Nick, anything else to add before we get into the box score recap?
No, it's just gonna be exciting that, next year from the get-go, it's gonna have a lot different feel. You were kind of alluding to that. You're gonna have all the guys that we're counting on here on opening day, or at least most of them. I mean, maybe you'll still have a few, but most of the big dogs, they're gonna be here on opening day. You're gonna have Ellie De La Cruz. You're gonna have Noelvi Marte. You're gonna have Matt McLean, all from the get-go. And it'll be fun to see what those guys can do over a full 162 game season. I'm so excited about the defensive upgrade and what those like advanced numbers can look like at the end of the year, because it's been bad for year after year after year, and it drives me nuts. That's the one thing that annoys me is more than anything is bad defense. So I'll be really excited about that.
Well, we shall see. They played a game tonight, Nick. It didn't go Connor Phillips' way and ultimately ended up not going the Reds' way. Take it away, Nick.
Yeah, box score recap presented by Betfred Sportsbook. Connor Phillips threw 12 pitches, and they were all balls, and most of them not very close. David Bell had no choice but to pull him in a must-win game. Fernando Cruz came into a pretty much impossible situation, bases loaded, no one out, and he didn't have it either. He gave up 3 doubles. Reds trailed 5-0 after 1. Cruz came back out in the second, and it didn't go any better. He gave up 3 straight hits. The last one, a 3-run home run, and just like that, it was 8-0. Buck Farmer came in next. He gave up 2 runs, and it was 10-0. Ben Lively, he did stable things a little bit. He gave up just 1 run over 2 1/3, but the Reds were down 11-0. But our Cincinnati Reds, as they've done all year, they fought back in a just ugly, impossible situation. Ellie De La Cruz had an RBI single in the 4th inning to get the Reds on the board. And the Reds offense put together a really good 5th inning. Nick Senzel continued to crush left-handed pitching. He hit a solo home run. Spencer Steer doubled. Christian Encarnacion Strand walked. And then Tyler Stevenson doubled. And Noelvi Marte doubled. And it was an 11-5 game. Marte tonight extended his hitting streak to 15 games, the longest for a Reds rookie since 1946. So just another cool Reds rookie stat to add to the mantle of great Reds rookie stats this season. Top of the 7th, that Noelvi Marte continued his great night. He homered for a second straight day. He had 4 hits on the day overall, made it an 11-6 game. Top of the 8th, the Reds got the tying run into the on-deck circle, which would have been Noelvi Marte, but Tyler Stevenson grounded out to end the inning and left the bases loaded. Bottom of the 8th, though, Ian Jabot left a mess for Alexis Diaz. And Alexis Diaz, late season struggles continued. He walked in 2 runs, then he gave up a 2 RBI single, and that would be the old ball game. Reds fall 15-6, and the Reds eliminated on the second to last day of the season.
Yeah, a couple super chats to get to here really quickly. All in Christ, man. All in Christ, been an OG of this chat for a while. Said, love y'alls for reals. Thank you guys for going through the highs and lows with this hell of a season. Thank you, All in Christ. It's been a fun year, man. JB with his first super chat said, future's bright. Thank you for the show. Go Reds. Ricky Logan says, so proud of this team. Took 161. Future's blinding. Yeah, listen, I mean, it's a double-edged sword with the future, you know. I do think there's some merit to the negative fan who always says, oh, it's always next year, it's always next year. There's a little bit of truth to that statement, right? You know, not to turn this into a sour show, but there's a little bit of truth to the idea. Let's hope TJ Friedel comes back and he's the TJ Friedel that he was this year. Let's hope Matt McLean plays as well as he played. I mean, he played out of his mind. Let's hope Noelve looks as good as he does at the end of the year. Let's hope Ellie bounces back a little bit and he's glimpses of the guy that we seen when he first came up. Let's hope CES takes the stretch of baseball where he hits 7 home runs in 10 games and he finds ways to kind of extrapolate that over 162 games. But none of it's guaranteed. So that's part of it as well. And I don't want to sit here and continue to act as if it's an automatic guarantee that this Reds ball club is going to have a winning season next year. But if there's anything that can again make you feel like you should have some confidence, is that there is some depth here. And I think that there's a real plan in place by this front office, and hopefully it continues to pan itself out to where these young guys continue to play well. And Nick, we'll see how it ultimately pans out. But thanks to the box score recap. Connor Phillips, really quickly. I don't know how long this show will go, guys, to be honest with you. But tomorrow, like I said, I just want to keep reiterating that tomorrow I'll bring my A game. Connor Phillips, I feel bad for the kid. I guess I feel bad for him. It's not that I don't think that he should throw the ball better. I think that he should. I just think the moment was too big for him. And you don't really know that until you find out, and you got to find a way to mentally learn from what just happened to you. And you got to figure out a way to be able to control your emotions a little bit better the next time, right? It's when you're an adolescent, and I know it sounds wild to say, not to get crazy into the psychology of all this, but when you're an adolescent or when you're a young kid, you remember how impressionable adults were, right, to you. You almost looked at when you were a kid. Sometimes you would think that every adult had all the answers in the world, and you just it's hard for you to really rationalize and things as simple as tying your shoes, Nick, at one time in your life looked impossible to do, right? It looked really hard. I know I'm taking this to the extreme as an example right now, but that's what happened. That's what happened tonight to Connor Phillips. He was letting the moment get to him, and it just swallowed him up whole and spit him out. And unfortunately, he did it on a stage where a lot of Reds country was relying on him when they probably shouldn't have been. And I don't blame anybody. I know in times of adversity, some people always want to blame other people, like whose fault is it? Is it Derek Johnson's fault? They didn't have him ready. Is it Connor Phillips' fault because he's not a nut cutter and he can't go out there and find a way to pitch better? Is it David Bell's fault for not having somebody else that should probably pitch for him? Well, David Bell did push him back one day. They tried their best to give Connor Phillips as much of an opportunity. And you know what I would say too? The kid did come out and shove one other time. So it's not like Connor Phillips was 100%, we were just throwing him to the wolves. He's got good stuff. He just wasn't ready for the moment, Nick. And that's sad. That's all I got for you.
Well, he wasn't really ready to be called up. Like, that's the first thing. He was only called up out of necessity because Graham Ashcraft and Nick Lodolo both couldn't pitch in September. So he just wasn't ready for the big leagues. Now, he still somehow had two really, really good starts against the Twins and against the Pirates. Last start out, he didn't give up a home run, struck out 9 batters. And I think it's really easy to say this now, but probably should have gone with a bullpen. Well, obviously, you should have gone with a bullpen game. I know that's very, very Monday morning quarterback, but yep. I mean, he struck out 9 his last time out. He had pitched 2 good starts in a row. Yep. You kind of got lulled into like, well, we have to give this guy the start. They should have gone with a bullpen game today. I mean, clearly your relievers are better inning for inning in a must-win situation than Connor Phillips, but he just pitched 2 really good starts, so it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't type thing. But yeah, I mean, he did this in the minors like multiple times. Had like maybe not 12 straight balls, but he had starts where he didn't get out of the first inning, didn't get out of the second inning. So it just unfortunately it happened in game 161.
Yeah, Roger in the chat brings up a good point that really I don't want to say I didn't think of, but I certainly when you're doing a show and you're watching a game, sometimes you don't think of things. And he brings up the point that he says, why did they push him back? It had to, basically, he's inferring that it added crazy amount of anxiety probably on him because, he's not an idiot. He probably understands what they were doing. And it's a good point, Roger. I don't know. I mean, would it have been nice in hindsight to go throw a bullpen game and then you maybe throw an opener for Phillips the next game and you try to get him in a position where there's not as much pressure on him? Maybe. But you know what else I'd say, Roger, and everyone else? Like, there's something to the fact that he got to learn today, right? Some of your best lessons in life are ones that hurt the worst, man. They just are, and you can't avoid them. I mean, it's when you become a parent, you try to steer your kids away from opportunities of learning lessons on their own because you've learned them already. But the best way to learn that you probably shouldn't go down a hill with your bike is super, super fast is just to fall off your damn bike and burn your skin up. And I know that sounds ridiculous and that's a dumb analogy, but that's kind of where we're at a little bit. I think that Connor Phillips can learn a lot from tonight. He can learn how to handle his emotions a lot better. And when he gets in that same position again, he'll be better for it. Now, do I think that's worth it tonight? No, I don't. I would have much rather him learn that lesson another time, Nick, but I don't want to sit here and act like it was all for naught.
Well, I also don't think they moved him back until after the Reds lost the second game to the Guardians, if I remember correctly. So, like, there was also a possibility the Reds would have got eliminated yesterday, and then there wouldn't have been any pressure on this start, which versus there's still being pressure on Friday. So I think that also, I mean, and if the Mets hadn't gotten, or the Mets Pirates game hadn't gotten rained out, that game finished, and the Reds lost last night, they would have been eliminated yesterday. And so I think that also, they might have been just looking at it more realistically. Let's move him back. There's a chance that that game doesn't even matter, and we do take the pressure off of him. It did maybe add a little bit more, but either game was must win. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand. Let's jump into something a little more optimistic, a little more positive. Marte almost had 5 hits tonight, had 4, hit another home run. He's reached safely, I think, in 18 straight games. That's almost you got to go back to the Stone Ages before the last time a Reds rookie has done that. And I think he's hit safely in, you probably would know this, but I think he's been hit safely in his last 14, somewhere in that nature. Might be 15 after tonight. But anyways, just overall in general, this offense has grown a little bit of legs, and who knows what would have ultimately happened, Nick, but it would have been nice to see Tyler Stevenson, who's, admittedly struggled a little more than he'd probably have liked to this year. It would have been nice to see him get that big hit in the 8th inning, because it would have felt like there's a chance this team might have bounced back and gave themselves a chance to win. But it didn't happen, so here we are. And, you score 6 runs, Nick, in a baseball game in the major leagues. 6 runs wins you a lot of games.
Especially against the Cardinals lineup that they're running out there. I know they scored 11 tonight, but certainly you weren't expecting them to score 11, and a lot of that was walks. I mean, that was the reason they scored 11, is because the Reds walked a million guys tonight.
I mean, you can't.
But yeah, the offense has finished the year strong. I mean, 6 tonight, 19 yesterday, 3 on Wednesday against Shane Bieber, 11. The day before that, 4, 12, and 5. I mean, that's pretty strong games. The last 7 games here of the year, so that's good to see. I think this lineup should give a lot of people a lot of confidence. I do think there's some tough decisions though that you're gonna have to make, because you have every spot is a legitimate starting caliber big leaguer. Like, there's not a guy that you look at and go, oh, that guy's not for sure not a starter. Like, every spot is, but you could also still upgrade some of those spots. And so it's picking and choosing which spots worth upgrading, which guys maybe best to maybe even sell high on, right? I mean, those are also things that will be interesting decisions to make this offseason, and things that honestly are going to make this offseason a hell of a lot more fun than last offseason.
Yes. There's a lot to be positive about. It's just when you I just, for my own sake, I just need the Diamondbacks to win. Okay? That's all. I don't know why I care, but I just do. So if they could kindly hit this walk-off home run right here, that'd be great. That would cap the night off. Fantastic. That would be fantastic. I don't want to regurgitate a bunch of stuff that I'll probably reiterate again tomorrow in a way. But again, just to kind of recap this offense tonight, I thought they did a good job and they fought back. It's something that we've appreciated from this team all year long. They could have easily folded. They were down. What were they down, Nick? 10-0?
We're down 11-0.
11-0. I mean, they were down 11-0, and they scored 6 unanswered, and again, they were 1 hit away. They had bases juiced. They were 1 hit away from cutting that thing down to 3 or 2 or who knows what. Maybe 1 if Stevenson hit 1 out, but that's wishing upon a shooting star a little bit. But you get my point. We'll see what happens. I don't want to speculate too much when the season's dead. But it's been a hell of a ride, man. And again, all of you folks that are in here, please come back tomorrow, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. It'll be worth it. I am running on empty, Molly. I am running on empty. But you know what? I didn't want to not do this show because I left Nick hanging the last time I thought the season was dead. So can't do it again. That was a bad night. So
It was a tough one.
It was a tough one, as they say.
Let's not forget. Let's not bury the lead, though. The Cubs got eliminated before the Cincinnati Reds. That's the lead, and that's the story tonight. They were eliminated first. After your employee went on the air and said the Reds weren't going to win 70 games this year, made an entire mockery of opening day in Cincinnati. They got eliminated before the Reds. That's the lead. End of the story. Move on.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's facts.
Man, I tell you. Two reminders before we go. We got up next, game 162. We'll do that who, what, when, where, and why now. But the fact that we have we'll get into the details of the specifics about the off-season plans, the things that we plan to do tomorrow. Some cool news, like I said, tomorrow coming. And like I said, the group that we got to come up with a group name, by the way. We got to come up with did they have a group name in Fever Pitch? You're a big Fever Pitch guy. That's like your favorite baseball movie of all time. Did they have a I don't think they did.
I think it's just one dude.
Not really just group. One dude. They had like a little group of season ticket guys. They did a draft in their little basement. You don't remember that part?
Yeah, the Devil Ray dancing. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I don't think they had a group name though. Well, but then once Drew Barrymore comes in, she like takes over the whole thing. So there's not really a group left.
That's true. That is true. All right. Who, what, when, where, and why? Is that what we're doing? Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Hunter Green against Miles Michaelis. Miles Michaelis last 8 starts. He's got an ERA over 6.5. He's also allowed 11 home runs over that span. So he's struggling. He's also not pitched very well at home. So it'd be nice for the Reds just to beat the crap out of the Cardinals tomorrow. That would be nice. The Reds also will be playing for the season series against the Cardinals. Reds have only won the season series against the Cardinals one time since 2011. So that would be kind of a nice way to end the year. They are 6-6 against each other right now. Jonathan India has 3 career home runs against Miles Michaelis. Joey Votto, David Bell did say he will be in the lineup tomorrow. He's got 2 home runs, 6 for 28 in his career. And Hunter Green, obviously, he wants to shake off that really tough start in Cleveland where he gave up 7 runs in 3 innings. He was dominant before that, had a 1.50 ERA in the 4 starts before that. Career against the Cardinals, he's got a 3.23 ERA. And then this year, made 2 starts, he's got a 2.38 ERA. Paul Goldschmidt's just 2 for 12 against him. So will we see Adam Wainwright in the DH tomorrow? I guess that's maybe the big question.
I don't know. If you do, Buster only wants you to throw him up there a little softball cookie to hit it out of the park, I guess. What a loser that guy is.
That was bizarre. Good for Brandon Williams sticking up for himself. Busty.
That was kind of funny. All right, folks. 100 plus people in here. Absurd. Ridiculous. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. As a reminder, Chatterbox Bengals will be on live after the Bengals game tomorrow. So best of luck to the Bengals and all you Bengals fans. But we will be here tomorrow for a good time at around 5 o'clock. Let's see if the Reds can't find a way to win. I know it's going to burn like hell if the Reds were to win and the Diamondbacks lose tomorrow. We all know that's going to hurt. But you know what? Big things are ahead. I'm pretty sure if you're an Orioles fan right now, you probably Long forgotten last year, huh? Let's hope that's the same case for us. Not a guarantee. Let's hope that's the same case for us.
One last point here. I've saw a lot of chatter about how valuable postseason experience would be for this team. I think this September is pretty valuable experience. Like, I mean, sure, if they made a deep run, that would be great, but would 2 or 3 games next week really be that much different than what they got to experience this September playing?
Yeah.
I mean, they were playing almost must-win baseball for the last 2 weeks or so, and I think that in itself is very valuable. And they got a taste of what it takes to get there, taste of what it takes to get so close, and I think that's valuable for this team full of young players. So I don't think this run to the second to last day of the year is for nothing. I think there's a lot of value to it. And that's, I know that stuff can be a little overrated at times, but I do think there's definitely some stuff with it. And um, just I'm honestly just sad tomorrow's the last time I get to watch this team. That's more than making the playoffs, not making the playoffs. Just I'm sad I don't get to watch this team for a couple months, but it's gonna be really cool because come February, this city's gonna be fired up for this team next year. They're gonna be fired up. I know last year people kind of got a little excited. It's gonna opening day be electric, and if the Reds do make some moves that excite the fan base, it's gonna just add to that. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a totally different vibe from Game One, and 2024 is gonna be a hell of a year, just like 2023 was.
Yep. A lot of OGs in the chat, man. A lot of you been here for a long time. I'm gonna save it all for tomorrow. I'm tired. You know what they say: when you get tired, you get emotional. When you get emotional, you make reckless choices in life. I don't want to get all overly ridiculous right now and tell you how much I love y'all, but I do. It's been one hell of a ride. It's a shame that we got eliminated. I was hoping we could make it to the last. The last day of the year would have been a really cool thing, no matter how it went, but that's just not the way it goes. And ultimately, like I said before, we're all going to be sad no matter what happens unless we win the last game. That's just the facts. That's the facts. This team could have gone to the World Series, and we would have been crushed that they didn't win at all because we had a chance, right? We would have convinced ourselves that they were right there. You don't know how many times you get a chance to get to the World Series and win. So you'll always do that. We'll always do that. We're fans. At the end of the day, we're fans. And it's been a hell of a ride. It's been fun. And just this year, it just so happens in on September 30th, which is probably 2.5 months later than we all thought it was going to happen. So count your blessings. Grass isn't always greener. Thank you very much. We will be back better than ever tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I don't ask for many things. I ask for a good amount of things, but I don't ask for many things. I ask if you can, if you got a chance, come be in our chat tomorrow, live, 5 o'clock. One last time till 2024. One last time till 2024. We'll have some fun in the chat. Hopefully we can bust out a little Nicolas Cage pillow. We can dunk one more time. We can share some news about the offseason. We can tell you about some cool things that are happening. But I just want to tell you again, because I don't think I can tell you enough. You've made this season a blessing for me and Nick. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. And if not, we'll see you again. We love you. As always, go Reds.